Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I wanted to talk a little bit about fear of fear because that's the big topic that we always talk about on here. And I think the reason that it's a frequent topic to cover is because one, it relates to every OCD sufferer. Like fear of fear is essentially at the heart of every OCD sufferer's suffering. And secondly, I think because it plays out in so many different ways. It's kind of like this vast net that's cast across our all our themes, and it really kind of like creeps into our main fears, our main themes, our compulsions, our daily way of operating and behaving, which is mainly what I want to talk about over here because I think a lot of people underestimate how much it can impact your just even daily kind of like mundane ways of behaving. And trust me, on paper it feels like, oh, these things might be insignificant to change, but like those are some of the little things that can make a monumental difference. I know they did for me at least, massively. And I'll also tell you how some of the very tiny things still relate to some of the really big fears and things that you have. But before I go into all of that, please subscribe to our channel as always. And if you want to come in for any coaching, you can email Phil or you can message us on our business number, which is linked in the description below. So you can come in for sessions. And we've also put up a Halloween promo just yesterday, I think. So if you want to like check out those packages, let us know, and we can get you in touch with us for these calls. So what I want to discuss with Fear of Fear today in particular was, for me, some of my core fears, I would say, were fear of being depressed and miserable for the rest of my life, and fear of being physically, emotionally, mentally uncomfortable for the rest of my life, which is again your essential fear of fear. But the third one was also, I think, which gets missed out for many people, and they don't really detect it, is fear of being exhausted and fear of being tired. Like I had that massively, and all three of these kind of like went hand in hand with each other. They overlap with each other and related to each other. So I thought that, let's say, I thought if I am tired and exhausted because my nerves would essentially be tired, therefore the chances of depressing feelings latching on or coming in and then staying there, like my tired nerves would not have the ability to combat sad feelings on it. So therefore, like it'll make this like really sad bad concoction. That's how it like overlap with one another. And because then I would be feeling depressed and I would be feeling tired, then I would physically just feel very uncomfortable in myself, and I would not want to get on with my day. I would not want to do anything. I would lose interest like in just life itself. And I'd basically be this like shell of a person, like a zombie kind of like person that would be living day to day. And that kind of like image in my mind, just, I mean, I don't know where it came from really, but like that's how I envisioned it. Like this like sad, slow, lazy, depressed kind of person who just like, even while sitting in a very lively environment, is just like, that I literally had that kind of image in my mind. And you can see how much OCD can also just completely like make it like fully exaggerated, because even in my like absolutely toughest depressing moments with OCD, like when I was in lively environments, I was engaging with people, and I wasn't feeling super happy or excited, but like it was far better than what I would always imagine in my mind. So there was like a clear difference in that, and I also failed to notice a lot of that because I was so caught up in just thinking how bad it is, how bad it is, how bad it is. And I would essentially like go to bed every morning with this like sentence playing on a loop in my mind: I want to die, I want to die, I want to die, I want to die. And it was, I think, like kind of like my brain's way of like finding some kind of escape mechanism, and just like thinking that the only solace I'll ever have is through death, which I mean, of course, is like a dark thought to have as well. But I didn't have any. I had a kind of like just a death wish, and I remember saying to my one of my therapists at the time as well, that I kind of wish I either go to sleep and I don't wake up, or I want to go in a 3 months induced coma, because I just want to like I just want my brain to somehow stop, because I don't see it stopping on its own. I've lost the capability or the skills to maybe make it stop thinking and being so anxious and afraid all the time, that I just want to like sleep straight month, like for 3 months straight, and just like not wake up. I mean, again, that's how much of an escapist like nature I had developed in that way. Anyway, so going back into those core fears that I had. So initially, like it resulted in, those core fears were like, my three main big things were contamination OCD, relationship OCD, and real event OCD, right? Those three were kind of like the real big ones. A lot of them were again overlapping as well, and they just like it felt like things became far more complicated when all three kind of overlap with one another. Because it wasn't like a clear distinction of, oh, right now I'm having like a contamination OCD moment, oh, like right now I'm having like a relationship OCD moment. It kind of like went hand in hand with each other. So that was like, firstly, that was it would result in like straight up those three things, that um, I, I'm feeling contaminated, so I need to do like these compulsions. I feel like my relationship is going to completely deteriorate, so I need to do these compulsions. These things from the past are making me feel like absolute hell, so I want some reassurance, and I just want to like get them off my chest and talk to someone about them. So it would result in some of those like main big compulsions that were, you can say, in some ways very directly related to my these big themes. But then, because over time and across the years, because you've been suffering so much, and because your essentially your nerves just get completely zapped out, and you feel burnt out um, by the constant exhaustion and anxiety in your body, and the constant worrying on your mind. Like, you feel so tired that even day to day discomfort starts to feel it starts to feel like hell as well. I mean, I'll just straight up say it like that, because at the time, even like smaller discomforts felt like hell. And what essentially is happening is that across the years, when you've been feeling so bad for so long, your internal tolerance for discomfort, and also your threshold to tolerate any kind of like discomfort or pain, it just comes down and down and down and down and down. So initially, if your threshold is like, okay, max level, I'm feeling max level with like real event OCD, so I need some reassurance. So I mean, I can tolerate this much, but this much I can't. So at this level, I need to do compulsive behaviors. Or I have, again, I'm feeling contaminated by certain sensations or certain things. So maybe I can tolerate this level of uncertainty with contamination, but this level I can't, so I need to do it. But over the years, that threshold kind of like comes down and down and down and down and down. And then it's like, oh, maybe I said like a little bit of an like a rude word or a mean word to someone. I don't want them to think I was making fun of them. I don't want them to think that I meant any ill by that. So just to clarify, maybe I'll just like text them, or I'll just say that, hey, by the way, I didn't mean anything by that. So let me just clarify. So then it's not about this level of maximum guilt. It, because the threshold has come down so much, it's like maybe just this little bit as well. I'll just talk to my friend about it. And then it's also like, yeah, you know what? Like, even I don't even want to take the 0.1% chance at this point. So I'll just like, just to make sure, I'll just not do the thing that might make me feel contaminated. So I'll just take that extra chance over here. So not even doing that then. And again, so because this relates to like a certain physical sensation with contamination, for example, and this comes with some kind of like emotional discomfort of like guilt, then even further that down even a little bit, and then it's like I'll try to like put my hands just at the edge of the screen here now. So then it's like, I mean, I don't want to experience anything that's even mildly physically uncomfortable. So whether it's like contamination or even just, I don't know, sitting on a sitting on a couch that just feels a little uncomfortable, or I don't even want to sit in a car ride that's more than 10 minutes long, because that feels like too much. So any errands or anything that will take that much amount of time, either I'll just divide them up in days where, you know, one single errand takes a maximum of like what, 2 minutes, but I don't want to do anything that's like even more than just like 10 minutes, because it just feels uncomfortable. Physically, it just feels uncomfortable. And then over here, it's also then like, yeah, you know what? I mean, I don't want to watch even like a romantic comedy film, because it has, I know it has that scene where there's like a huge fight, or it's like a very sad thing that happens between both of them, and that will feel a lot. That will feel like a little bit a lot as well. I don't want to feel that, so I'll just like avoid doing that as well. So these are like very low level kind of like avoidances that you're doing, but think about where this started from. This started from this like max level of like, I can't tolerate this amount of discomfort, so I need to do XYZ thing, or I need to avoid certain things. Then it comes down to like a little bit more filtering into your life a bit more, and then it just comes down to very basic level of like, I just don't want to experience any sort of discomfort, little, big or little. Like, I don't care, I just don't want to experience it at all. um, and I mean, that resulted in like a ton of different compulsions for me on a day-to-day basis. One of them, one big main one being just sitting up at night, ruminating, recapping my day. I mean, I'm not even kidding. This would be like a very proper, deliberate thing of like, I want to sit down and I want to recap my day. How was my day? How did I feel today? Did I feel good? Did I feel bad? How good did I feel? And what are the things that made me feel good? And maybe I can keep doing some of those and keep leaning into some of those things in the future as well. What are the things that made me feel bad? And and how can I avoid them in the future? And if there's something bad that happened today, and if any lingering feelings from that are being carried forward to tomorrow, what can I do tomorrow in order to have some kind of like internal emotional resolve for this bad thing that happened, or this thing that brought up some like uncomfortable emotions from me, for me, like either from the past, or even if it was just something related just to the present moment as well. I mean, just narrating that in inner monologue I mean, it just exhausted me just talking about that inner monologue. Like, it was a very exhausting and tiring state of mind to be in. Like, it really was. I did not like it. I did not enjoy it. I just, I mean, at the time I felt like it was needed, and there was like a pseudo comfort that I experienced from recapping my day, because it gave me a sense of internal control, and it gave me a false sense of certainty over what I was feeling and why I was feeling it. But it was exhausting. Because I also remember some nights where, I mean, it would be like, oh, it's midnight, it's kind of like, you know, time to sit down and recap my day. And just did not want to do that, because I would be, I don't know, let's say watching a TV show or something, and I just want to watch that episode. I did not want to think about my day, but then I would think, oh, if I don't think about my day, then tomorrow I'm going to go into the next day with all these unresolved emotions and thoughts and feelings and whatnot. So maybe I need to pause what I'm doing and maybe just like have a think about that. So it was not a very pretty, like, you know, state of mind to be in. But I think the reason I want to explain the fear fear cycle in this specific manner is also just to show you how your big fears are related to some of the very small things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, and how it filters down to that level. And it just like, it kind of like, it affects you on a very molecular level on a daily basis. So what you really have to watch out for is, yes, you may have one big main topical theme of XYZ thing, but like you also have to then, not in a compulsive, like absolute surgical way, but you really do have to pay attention to what are some of the daily annoyances and irritations that you have? What are the daily things that you're just like, I don't want to do that. No, I don't feel like doing that. No, I mean, I just don't enjoy this. I don't like, what are some of those tinier things as well? Because I'm not even kidding. Even when I made, like, I would say 60% progress and I was still feeling like pretty stuck on some things, this is where like the kind of like the grind for me was. And I know these are small things that they don't feel significant, but when I actually like started like tackling these things, I did not like it. It put me in a bad mood, and it kind of like surprised me as well how much these like smaller things bothered me. I on paper I didn't think they would bother me that much at all actually, but when combined, it was like shit. Like I hate this. So if you have any further questions or if you want me to go into this even further, like again, please let me know and I'd be happy to do that. But I hope this video makes sense to you. I hope this helps and gives you some kind of like pointers. And yeah, if you want to come in for a call, please do. I'll see you guys around. Bye.